everyone, welcome to another episode of The Walk. My name's Gareth and today we've got a full five-a-side team. We've got Phil, we've got Andy, we've got Jake and we've got Nikita, and we're in Rochdale in Greater Manchester. We're going to walk an 8-mile section of the former Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway from Rochdale to the outskirts of a place called Bacup, not Bacup, which is what I thought it was. So we're going to walk that today. Loads of remains, viaducts, tunnels, stations, the lot, and lots of northern words that I'm going to mispronunciate. Okay, so before we start stomping, this is where we are now, just to the north of what was Rochdale Station. Unfortunately, there's no remains there now. And we're going to follow the valley, basically, all the way up to the town of Bacup. Doesn't feel like we're in the middle of Rochdale, Phil. It's quite a big place, Rochdale, but it feels rural at the minute.
It's just up here, mate, yeah, that's for sure.
Where are we now, then? We should be going across a viaduct, am I right?
But it's not here, look, as you can see.
It is not here. This was the Roch viaduct over the River Roch, hence the name Rochdale, and it's got a pretty cool story. Unfortunately, no remains of it though. So we're going to have to come down off the track bed now, obviously, because none of us are going to jump. Quite a cool story. So this section of the line remained up until 1967, and then in 1972 they wanted to knock down this viaduct, and so they did a test explosion where basically they were going to explode just one single arch of this viaduct, the one that goes over the river. But when they blew it up, the whole lot went, all 13 arches went bang. And fortunately, no one was hurt, no one was killed, but they hadn't planned for it. So all the infrastructure, like gas mains, water mains, the lot, all destroyed. And if you look at some of these pictures, I mean, they're great shots of it. It must have been one hell of a racket. And now we've just got quite a fast flowing river, to be fair, but it has been raining. Hopefully, the rain is going to hold out. See there, that would have been the viaduct. It would have looked pretty magnificent really, but all long gone now, unfortunately. Now, as I mentioned, the weather forecast ain't great today, but we've basically gone, do you know what, let's just go for it. Let's just get stomping. We've got waterproofs on, and hopefully it's dry enough for us to get some decent footage and all that sort of stuff. Fingers crossed. But we are in Greater Manchester. I don't think it's ever not raining up this way. So just up from that demolished viaduct, the wind's got up now, we've got our first railway remain, at last. So you see the blue brick. Now on the other side of that, it's all filled in, there's all industrial estates and things like that. But eventually, we come out and into the countryside, and it is actually a really, really beautiful walk. It's just this bit's obviously a little bit urban. You can see the other end there of the bridge. So this would have been vast. A vast bridge with an absolute bucket load of lines. So this must have been a huge cutting, actually, obviously all infilled now. Now what we have to do is just follow this path to the side of it, and then we're out, like I say, into the countryside. So this section of the line we're walking now, from Rochdale up to a place called Facit, was opened in 1870, and then all the way until 1881, that was all that was the line. Then it was extended into Bacup, where we're going to finish the walk in 1881. Now unfortunately, it was basically built for industry, not really for passengers. So by 1947, they'd already sacked off all the passengers here. They closed the stations, and it was open still for goods till 63 in some sections, and then 67 in other sections. So there would have been a bridge there, absolutely no remains of that, annoyingly. Phil, you're seeing that tree line, basically that there would have been the top of the cutting.
Of the cutting, mate, yeah, all in line with another bridge that just went underneath there, and I don't think there's hope left of that one either.
So these are all old mills by the look of it. I mean, we are in mill country, aren't we?
100%, yeah.
Here we go. This is track bed now, Phil, isn't it?
Almost, we're still not down at track level.
We're not at track level. No. So these would have been retaining walls then, I'm guessing?
Yeah, not retaining a great deal at the minute though.
No, they're certainly not, no. So we're just dropping down now to track level. It's been raining, isn't it, Phil? And we've hit a tunnel already. Now, Where we were before, where it was all infilled, that was a massive lines, you know, 8 lines or more probably in those sidings. Then it became 5 or so, and now...
Definitely one.
That is definitely one, isn't it? It looks like they've done some work on it though. Like some of the brickwork looks new actually. But that's awesome. A proper railway remain now. Have you got your torch?
Don't need it, mate.
Actually, well, is it a tunnel then if you don't need a torch, Phil?
I'm not going into this bridge and tunnel nonsense. This is a tunnel. It's 43 yards, it's classified as a tunnel.
He hasn't got a torch, but he has got his back for light on.
They're quite weird, aren't they? What would be the reason behind that, Andy? You're a structural man.
Exactly what you've just said. It's the so because it's an arch, the strength's in the arch, obviously, but then you need support for the main arch where it opens up, and that's what they will be.
Yeah, well, there isn't any then. It stops, isn't it?
Yeah, no, but it needs to be near the entrance. Because the strength is going. The strength of anything is going outward. So it goes from the centre out and down.
And there we go, there's the other side. Oh, get out of the way so we don't get run over. It's a pretty cool looking tunnel, that. Yeah, and you were right, Andy. There they are again. Yeah. That more solid stonework. So out of the tunnel, and we're kind of looking like we're more rural now, which is the part of this line that I'm really looking forward to, because this part of the world is very, very scenic. It's lovely. Here we go then, a little bit further up from the tunnel. That's, oh yeah mate, there's a crossing gate here as well, both sides. And they are like original cobbles as well, so we're going way back with them. Yeah, we've even got the original ironwork on it, mate. I'm getting excited by a hinge. In that direction then, Rochdale town centre, and we're going to get on something called the Shawclough and Heeley Gateway. Now Shawclough is the next station on this line. Hopefully there'll be some remains of that. Because actually the first station out of Rochdale was one called Wardleworth. So if I'm saying that right, Wardleworth. Could be Woodleworth, couldn't it? And that was where we were at that mass of sidings and stuff, you know, where I was saying it was all infilled. That was a station there, so obviously no remains of that whatsoever. But actually, what they used to do is they used to bring trains down from Manchester, and they used to actually terminate there because it was so close to Rochdale. But obviously none of it's there now, unfortunately, so we can't look at it. The Shawclough station is all a housing estate, so we're kind of looking out for old little remnants, and this looks like it. Like this could have been, maybe this was the entrance into the station there, maybe into the goods yard. Oh, Phil's trying to get over the wall and have a look at it, and you can see where it comes down. So there should probably be a bridge or something in a minute where the line goes over the top. So with a lot of these railways, obviously when you're town centres or city centres, they get totally decimated, which is basically what's happened to sections of this, because we're still kind of in Rochdale, but now we're moving out of that, so it looks like there's a lot more remains and a lot more of the railway still intact because it hasn't had housing estates and industrial estates and stuff built on it. Look, you can see now much more industrial structure. Now, annoyingly, the original bridge is gone. You can see where it would have been, and they've obviously put some walkway over on that. I think that goes into the housing estate. So we'll jump up there. Back there is that bridge that has kind of just got that sort of cheap decking on it now, and Shawclough station. Now in this direction, we should be about to come up to something called Healey Dell Viaduct, which looks pretty impressive, I have to say. The weather's getting worse, total stitch at the minute. Phil's got his he's got his poncho back out, just waiting for him to start playing the panpipes.
It's Big Red Riding Hood.
Now, what are these called?
What are these called, Phil?
I know that there's some bridges here locally called the Siamese, but if you look at this, I think, yeah, one line, but that don't go anywhere, look. That line just disappears.
Yeah,
and it's at a lower level.
I'm trying to work out if they're built at the same time. Oh yeah, it doesn't go anywhere, does it? It would have though. But that is, yeah, that's weird. So that goes nowhere. Goes nowhere. That one obviously is the line we've been walking on. Now there are some bridges here called Siamese, the Siamese bridges. So I'm assuming, you know, they're conjoined, aren't they?
But they were supposed to be identical. These aren't identical, so this is something different then, isn't it? Because that's lower. This, but then again, this looks like single. Unless this is, I don't know, mate. It's
Unless because we're on the edge, that it's kind of, you know, like steps basically. So this is not the band. So this is coming down slightly lower, and it would have stayed on a shelf maybe that maybe is now fallen away. I mean, we're talking what, 60 years ago, aren't we? So it would have made a lot more sense for us to look at the info board. Yeah, the twin bridges, right? So it is then. What's it saying?
This is actually and it's Siamese twin.
Ah, so it was the Siamese bridges then. The conjoined bridges now, and you're not allowed to say Siamese.
That's right.
So we got to the bottom of it then. Well, I say we got to the bottom of it, we read the board. They built the original bridge, which is the one we're walking on, and then because of the way that it kind of drops down, basically like a sheer drop almost, they had to try and build another one to try and double it at that point. And it says there that was a complete failure, so I'm assuming that sort of collapsed area is what they mean by complete failure. So someone's been buried on the railway. What would that be?
It's the deck of the railway, isn't it?
Yeah, and then this is obviously the gradient, all the mileage. How far? 14. That is, yeah. 14. That's railway related as well, isn't it? But it's someone's house now, so obviously I'm not going to film it. Yes, yes.
Oh,
someone lives there, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know what we're coming up to then. Maybe I was thinking maybe it's a crossing keeper's house, but it's not, because we're still quite elevated at the point, and that's a bridge there in the distance. Look at that. Lancashire Yorkshire Railway, which disappeared in 1923, so that's a headstone for it, I guess. So that's a pretty cool remain. Now I thought we were walking just across a little bridge, and it turns out this is the viaduct, but you don't even notice it as you're walking towards it because of the tree coverage. But then once you get out, I mean the trees, look at the colour, because it's autumn, it just looks amazing. And down we go. Whoa, that's a fair old drop. Beautiful. Mate. The English weather's pretty grim, but the scenery is something else. What an incredible viaduct that is, and the fact that the rain gave us a chance to get the drone up as well was an absolute result, because I was fearing that, Phil. I was thinking, with, you know, viaducts and stuff like that, you need that you know, footage from above really, just to give it, you know, how it looks in the landscape. So thanks whoever controls the weather, appreciate that. Now we're coming up to a station with some remains. What's the name of the station, Phil?
Well, I know you'll enjoy me getting it wrong, and I think I'm wrong, but I'm going to go for Broadley.
I think you're right, mate.
Really?
I think it is Broadley Station, yeah. Okay. So we've come across the viaduct, and it's basically almost immediately into Broadley Station, where I'm pretty sure there are some remains, which will be great. That seems amazingly high to me, that.
Yeah, it also seems double track. And I'm sure this was a single track station with one platform, although can I spot one on the other side?
I don't know, normally they had passing loops and stuff, but yeah, it does look double track. But, oh mate, I think I can make out a platform.
Yeah.
There we go. Oh mate, look how it curls around as well, looks epic. So there would have been station buildings up there then, Phil, I'm assuming?
Well, no, I believe the station buildings were down below, and there would have been access off this bridge maybe. No, it doesn't look like there is.
No, it don't look like it.
I guess when the road level met the rail level, there would have been a way in down there then.
Yeah, I would say there. So maybe the station buildings are slightly further down then. But that's wicked. Some platform. Phil's trying to find the gents' toilets.
Yeah.
Yeah, Phil, I think it's about 3 miles that way.
You need a safety way.
Now, what was this, do you reckon?
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
This has been cut because the platform's just stopped, wouldn't it? And then
Well, it looks like it did. It looks like it did.
Well, then, people would have fell off the end.
Well, no, but the building went
No,
to
it has been cut, because look at the difference. Look at the stonework there, then it's brick.
What would be the reason for that?
Absolutely no
The
idea.
other mate, they kind of stepped
Maybe they needed to get a wagon in to cut something back, or...
Yeah. So I'll put up some pictures of what the station looked like, what Broadley Station looked like, and hopefully try and piece together exactly what was what. One of the good things about this particular line is actually there are pictures online of all the stations, which sometimes isn't the case. When you do these walks, you find these places and you're trying to get answers and you're relying on old maps from like 1888 and stuff. And obviously, you know, things could have been updated and changed and whatever between then and now, but if you've got old photos, then it's like, okay, that's what it was like. No. Right, Jake, Hawkeye, you've spotted something. Everyone walked past this and missed it. There's something going there though. Over the top. And there's one the other side as well. You don't think that's a footpath though, Phil? You poo-pooed it in your poncho. Aqua pipe.
Aqueduct pipe, yeah.
Aqueduct pipe, right. So the next station, I've just spotted something. What's going on here? That's related to what? Not much. Right, that was nothing then, as you were. So Whitworth is the next station we're going to come up to. Now, that was the point that was open until 1967. Beyond that, it all went in 1963. So I don't know if that means there'll be less remains, hopefully not. But then we're going to get to something called Facit incline, and we're going to have a little look off there. There's a big incline went up to some mills and quarries and stuff, and actually there's quite a few little junctions on this line that I'm keeping an eye out for, but a lot of them are like old tramways, so you're going back to, you know, late 1800s. So, you know, the remains of them are unlikely, but I'll keep my eye out. Beyond that, you've got Facit station, and then we'll get to a place called Brittania. It's quite a strange name. Then New Line Tunnel. Now beyond that tunnel, which is still there by the way, beyond that tunnel you're going down into Bacup station. Now there's no remains of that whatsoever, so we're going to finish the walk at New Line Tunnel. So we're not far from Whitworth station, are we now, Phil? You're saying though basically it's just builders' yards, decimated unfortunately.
So yeah, I think all the site's been developed, yeah.
But this is still here, and this is a beautiful looking bridge. Right, we're going to take a shelter for a minute then underneath this beautiful bridge, because the rain has just got a little bit more intense. So this whole area, we've come out from underneath that bridge now, and we're just sort of dealing with the weather. It is what it is. This was all the station site. As you can see, it's a bit of a housing estate now, and that big massive bush you can see in the distance, that's basically what would have been the bridge and out of here. Now these buildings are obviously original. Oh mate, the weather's getting worse. This was all sidings and all sorts, but we're gonna have to come off unfortunately and come back onto the track bed when we can find it again. We've found some history, even though we've come off the railway. Look at that. Police station, 1873. Oh yes, just above the door. Awesome. So we've walked through the town itself on the main road there, seen that old cop shop. And now we're going to jump on the track bed, but the track bed is actually a road now. So I'm following you, Phil.
Well, I say, it's hard to imagine. You wouldn't ever think for a minute that used to be a railway line, would you?
So that goes down to basically those industrial units where we came off a little bit earlier. And that's the railway. You wouldn't have a clue, would you?
Not a clue.
Right, so let's walk on the road until it becomes more obviously a railway. So this section of the line is a bit of a write-off. We're just literally just stomping up the road. But in a minute we're going to look to the left, and there should be an incline, an old incline that was going up to some quarries, and there's also some remains of a chimney and stuff there, which is awesome. And then beyond there we're at Facit station, and then we're back on track bed.
Yeah, we're back, yeah, we'll be able to see where we're going after that easier.
Magic. So we're at the end now of that estate. Now that is called Railway Close there, so there's your clue. The station was here. Phil thinks perhaps, hello, this might have been something. Here we go. Yeah, it's called Station Bungalow, mate. Yeah. So that could have been the station house then.
At the back, yeah.
At some point, and the station was all here. So again, I'll put some photos up. Now in the distance there, you can just see a chimney popping up out of the trees. That's this Facit incline. So we're going to climb sort of round and up a dirt path until we get to that. The weather's just getting ridiculous now. So those trees there, that's the track bed. Mate, it's getting brutal. Now here is an incline that went up to where that tower is, where that chimney is. Now I'm going to try and keep my camera as dry as possible, but it's not going to be easy. Right, I'm covering my camera with my hat. So this was two lines coming down, and Phil's telling me they went into one, and then at that point they, instead of going onto the line itself, which is just down there, they zigzagged back basically to try and stop runaway ones going and hitting on the main line and causing absolute carnage. So we're going to clamber up It's brutal. Here we go, Phil. You've just trodden on a sleeper, I reckon, mate.
Yep. Well, it's made your day anyway, hasn't it?
So these are going to be hella old, aren't they? If they're coming down here. Yeah, there's more here. Look, these are sleepers, yeah.
I believe they are, yeah.
Up the incline. Here we go then. Look at that. Awesome. Annoyingly, it would be great to be able to get the drone up around here. It'd be amazing, but obviously the wind is one and the rain is not tonight, Henry, so that's a bit annoying. There we go. Facit chimney. There you go. It's annoying. Normally you get the drone and see what it looked like on the top, but you can't see. Oh wow, what a drop. So Phil, you're saying there were workshops down here?
Oh, yeah, the trees have obstructed it. There were some workshops where masons would be profiling, making what they had to do out of the stone that were coming down and loading it onward for forward shipment, yeah.
So this was providing ventilation for those workshops,
yeah.
basically, right, got you.
And there was no reported accidents ever on this incline, apparently.
Well,
it's not bad going.
The day is young. It's an amazing view though. I mean, the weather's pretty grim, but mate, awesome. Okay, so the railway line we're following is basically down in those trees, isn't it? So
to the left of the road down there at the bottom.
Got you. Okay, so that's it. So we're going to follow that all the way around, cling to the side, hopefully with some tree coverage. So we're going to make our way down the incline now, which is a hell of a lot easier than going up it. Chimney looks awesome, even just behind us. Looks like it's sticking out the top of your head, Phil.
Yep.
Now, what I wanted to do, if it wasn't for the weather, is get the drone up, because on top of there, even now, there are an absolute shed load of quarries. So I'm just going to have to rely on Google Maps, unfortunately. But as you can see, it's a vast area of quarries, and that's what this incline was getting access to. So down to the track bed again, and then we're going to follow that all the way up to just outside Bacup. There's a couple more stations on the way, hopefully with some remains, so we'll see. But there is a tunnel, and I know for a fact that's still there. Come down to the bottom of the hill then. Weather's still horrible. The incline's up through those trees. This is where those workshops were that Phil was talking about. And the track bed's here. And basically just go smack bang through those houses, and in a minute you get to a point where you can see the retaining wall. So when this railway was opened, it was opened up to Facit, which is basically just behind us, in 1870. And then for 11 years that was it. And it was only in 1881 that they built this section that we're going to follow now. And got all the way down to Bacup, where there was a line coming in already. So it kind of connected it to, you know, the wider network, I guess. Yeah, see, I was thinking we was going to open up into a bridge, but it's not. But that's railway though, you can tell that's railway. So a big old retaining wall. So the track bed then is up there. Hopefully in a second. Is that to strengthen, or is that?
That's support columns, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if that was like a footpath off and there was something going on here, but these are old, so that's not going to fly. Okay, so in a minute, hopefully we'll be able to get on it. I don't think I'm going to be disappointed this time. I think we have got a bridge. Has it got a lid on it?
No chance.
No chance. Nah. Still awesome that that's there though, to be fair. Beautiful. Would have been a stunning line coming through this, you know, beautiful landscape. Okay. Mate, this is like me and you at Ravenscar, Phil.
Not quite.
Oh, mate, storm territory. So, this is another bridge, obviously, that's out. But at this point, we can jump onto the track bed, and then we're on it all the way. So this is dead random. So, we've been climbing quite a bit out of Facit. As you can see, it's pretty steep. And then suddenly there's a foot crossing, which is fine.
Farm track, isn't it?
It's amazing though.
That's a proper good drop to this side.
Yeah, look at that. It sort of spins around the back of people's gardens. And then I guess it'll go all the way down, won't it?
It does, yeah. But if you want a bit of a thing, put your camera over here, just see, look how far down.
Oh mate, yeah, that is high. Jeez Louise. Wow. Phil's made a really good point about the engineering on this line and how much it basically must have cost to build. It must have been insane. Now, it never made that much money off of passengers, of course. All these stations were gone by 1947. But they must have been making enough off of these huge quarries and also off of the cotton mills, because where we are, Lancashire, on the edge of Greater Manchester, that was, the textile industry back in the day. Now, if you look around and you look at the houses around all these valleys, to be fair, they all look the same. They're all made with the same stones, which I'm sure would be coming off of these massive, massive quarries. So it must have been making money, hence why they could afford, I guess, to build such incredible infrastructure. Oh, mate, it's grim though. What you say? You look like Superman at the minute because it's like you're wearing a cape. What's this then, Phil?
Well, it's a bit of a far-fetched guess, but this had obviously been a quarrying area even. I wonder, because that's a slope or ramp, I wonder if now and again trucks used to be pushed onto this and tipped onto trucks possibly.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean it opens up like there would have been sidings here, to be fair. There you go, clues everywhere, Quarry Street. So we come off the track bed, but it is there just above us. That's where we've been walking just a second ago. That bridge is out. I don't know how blurry that is with the rain, it's really brutal. Now we should be coming up to Shawclough station. Now Phil's telling me that maybe there's an old subway here, not to buy a sandwich but to get underneath the railway, so we'll see if he's right or not. He's rarely wrong, Phil, to be fair. Right, now for you this is a great reveal, not for me because Phil's just turned around and stuck his thumb up, so the subway is clearly, oh mate, that would have been the entrance to the station then, would it?
I believe so, yeah, or a subway taking you under the running lines.
Got ya. So, Shawclough station is above us then?
Yep.
Mate, this is awesome. So do you think the lines are going above us now then? Yeah. Oh, here we go. What's that say? Shawclough station.
This says about redeveloping the area.
Right,
Shawclough station.
Hopefully not knocking this down. And here we go then. So quickly run up, bosh, 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 onto the platform. And now it's just houses. Yeah, now it's just houses. Gone. Decimated. But wow. That's awesome then. So I come over, because it don't hit, I mean to a trained eye, you can tell. And look at that in the distance as well, look. The water coming down off the hills, amazing. Jake and Nikita have found a tunnel under the railway. What? He's got a torch, right, let's get in there. So this doesn't look like it goes anywhere, but...
It does, but it also doesn't.
Right.
So if you...
Can I get closer to you, Jake, so I can see? Oh my God, what is going on here?
Don't worry, there are no dead bodies, I've already pre-checked it.
Jeez. Mate, what the heck?
You step on that, you found.
Whoa, what is in here? Can you shine into that big bit and just see how wide it is? Oh, okay, so
Look at the ceiling.
Oh, so there's the metal work above, so you can see that's the railway.
But it clearly went deeper, because there's a new wall down the bottom.
Mate, this
It goes all the way to...
Oh, mate, I can see further down now. We've got track bed again. And a pretty cool bridge that Jake and Phil are going to go up. Steps are all still there, look. There you go, look at that.
Right.
A bridge to nowhere, it seems. So we've come up, weather's brutal, brutal. The track bed is a fair few feet beneath where we are, and you can just see here, that's a bridge. So the line is going underneath there, all filled in of course. And the other side, we should be getting to what was Brittania station, which is the second from last station. So this is all infilled this side as well, Phil.
Yeah, it is. Quite heavily as well. There used to be a bit of an island platform in the middle with a main running line and a couple of lines to this side of it.
Right.
I think there were two decks. There was the arch bridge and I think there was two here. You'll be able to see it if you put an old picture up. Certainly beyond recognition now, isn't it?
Really is, yeah. So you can see where it drops down. So we're going to get to track bed level again. So the weather's getting worse and worse now, so it's a bit of a killer, but we're persevering, aren't we, Phil?
Yeah, we're going to do it, mate.
Phil's been whistling loads for some reason. Don't know if that's going to become apparent later why you're whistling so much.
Yeah, I'll reveal it in a bit, mate.
Oh, look how awesome that looks. Coming down off the hills. I bet that's freezing. And we're back at pretty much track level, nearly. Still think we're a little bit high, but it drops off a little bit more. So that's awesome. So we were wondering earlier whether this water would have been flowing like this when the railway was here, but I think this answers the question. The answer is yes, it absolutely would have done. And then they would have obviously pushed it down and away. because we are on the track bed now. Oh mate, that is a flowing culvert. I know it sounds so loud, doesn't it? Unless it's going to come flying out. Take us with it. There's another beautiful bridge. There's so many remaining on this line. It's fantastic. Phil's suspecting that could be an incline, aren't you, Phil? Maybe going up to those quarries, but that would be an old map job. So we're going to be at the end of the line in a minute. We're going to jump off because one end of this new line tunnel is filled in. I think you can just make out the top of the portal, but the other side is open. So we're going to come off and go round to the side that's open, take a look at that, and that'll be the end of the walk. Because as I said at the start, down in Bacup, it's all gone, it's all decimated. It's a big industrial estate now, unfortunately. But there's been plenty of remains on this bit. It's been a pretty cool explore, even with the weather being pretty grim. My feet are soaked. I can feel it right through my socks and all sorts. So there's that bridge just through there, just through those trees that could possibly be an incline. Like I say, I'll have a look on old maps. Now the line went off here and through there. Bosh, that's a bridge there. Now we have to come round and we should be able to see from the top of that, hopefully, the side of the tunnel. So I've just walked back up the hill. There's that bridge, it's all infilled. That's where we were just a second ago. Now this side, oh mate, not tonight, Henry, got no chance. So down there, it's all overgrown. Down there is a cutting and the tunnel portal should basically be right there, but you can't make it out. Even with a naked eye, I can't make it out, but it's down there. So I'll come around the other side. Now I'm hoping, round the other side, it's all still there and open. So the guys are walking ahead. I've not heard a cheer yet, but I've not heard a groan either. This looks railway era, doesn't it? That sort of timeline. Now, the track bed is where the guys are, so it would have gone through there, so hopefully there's a tunnel mouth. So we're walking up to the tunnel. It is here. We can't get in it, but it is here. The rain is cleared off, but it's still a little bit windy, which you seem well happy about. Why are you whistling in the wind, Phil?
It's funny you should say that, because that tunnel there we used in the 1960s famous film called Whistle Down the Wind, in which a young girl befriended a convict that had just escaped from prison, and it was quite a famous film, and she looked after him in this kind of barn. And I think they chased her on one scene when she'd gone and pinched some goods from the local shop to give to the prisoner, and I think they chased her along this when it was active railway line, and she went through that tunnel there. Yeah. So yeah, quite a connection, and as you can see there, look.
If we come through, hopefully it won't lose focus. You can just see it in the distance there. So that's us. The sun has come out just as we finished. Amazing. But thank you so much for joining us on that walk from Rochdale to just outside Bacup. Cheers for that, lads.
Yeah, no worries.
Enjoyed that. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.